I am Savvy Mike, and this is I Am Savvy Mike TV. And well, not a spooky horror show. I need to stop. But well, we have Max Kellerman here. Haven't heard from Max in a minute. He does a UFC event here and there, or a Netflix boxing event every so now often. But we haven't really heard Max officially address him leaving First Take. If you don't know, that happened a while ago. I don't know how long a while is, but it happened a while ago. And there's been many people to come up there at First Take to kind of fill in that spot, or at least try to find somebody to at least fill in that spot. Because when Max got there, he was there to fill in the spot of Skip Bayless. Now, when Max was up there, wow, he had crazy wild takes. He had crazy thoughts. You know, the most viral opinion Max Kellerman has ever had, saying he's taking Andre Iguodala over Stephen Curry to shoot the last shot. Now, while his opinion was based in some logic, doesn't make it less dumb, but Max, if anything, did his job well. And so the fact that Stephen A. Smith and Max Kellerman did break up, there was some things that was happening that was leading up to that. If you don't remember the Colin Kaepernick situation. Now I'm going to try and speed through this intro so we can get into Max's addressal and response to him leaving First Take. But then that had happened, and the whole internet was inviting Max to the cookout and telling Stephen A. Smith to stay his ass home. Yeah, Terrell Owens kind of give Max his black card right in front of Stephen A. Smith's face. You know, it was a lot of drama, a lot of hoopla, which made people think and believe that Stephen A. Smith kind of found the way to force Max Kellerman out of there. Who knows? You know, I don't know. I'm not in the inner workings at Disney and ESPN and First Take, so I couldn't tell you the answer if I did. No, because I don't. So enough of me talking, enough of me yapping. That's enough of an intro. Let's listen to what Max Kellerman has to say.
But so Stephen A., you're in a relationship with where you're doing a show together for how many years? 4?
5.
5 years. You're with this dude every day. You're seeing him in the mornings. You do commercial breaks, you're hanging out.
Sure.
And then the show ends, or the show ends with you, and he moves on with other people. And then, you know, and I should say, I like Stephen A., and I've always gotten along with him. I didn't love how he handled the aftermath of you leaving, where it's basically like, I told you the show would be better. I just thought, because I think you're really talented. Now, you and I have known each other for a while. Whether it meshed as a show perfectly, I don't know the answer to that, but I just didn't think that was the right way to handle it.
If you're doing a debate show and you're a competitive person,
yeah,
why would you want me as a partner? That's bad. You want to go 15 rounds every day with Muhammad Kellerman? That's just bad. You know, it's embarrassing, you know?
So you think that was part of it? He didn't want to put the time in? Or like just wanted a different type of show? What's your take looking back 2 years later?
I don't think it has to do with put the time in. It's, you know, it's a debate show.
You're ready to roll on all topics.
You want to like if you're, I have an idea. This is what I want to put on TV. I want to spar Bud Crawford every day for 15 rounds, and I want everyone to see it.
All right now, Max, you feeling yourself a little bit too much there. Like, while you were a good debater and you had great points and you argued great points, and you did bring that type of energy to First Take, at least trying to fill in that seat when Skip Bayless left, of keeping it a debate show about sports and Stephen A. Smith versus whoever is sitting across him. You did a great job at playing your role, I'm not going to lie. But you didn't win all them debates, and it wasn't, he's talking like it was just clear as day. Anytime he opened his mouth, he was right. No, you weren't. Like I said, a lot of his arguments were based in logic. Because if somebody tells me I think Andre Iguodala should take the last shot over Stephen fucking Curry, the greatest shooter to ever live, by the way. But yeah, I think Andre Iguodala should take the last shot, because if you go off of the stats, he has made more than Steph. True, but no. No. Like, yeah, logic is there, sure, but are we dead ass right now? Even at that time, I'm not taking Andre Iguodala to shoot the shot over Stephen Curry. Just not doing it. I'm drawing up a play to let Steph shoot, and if they're double teaming Steph like they always used to do and crashing on him, and Andre Iguodala is wide open, he should do the smart thing and pass it. He better make it. You wide open, my nigga. So, either way.
Eventually, you're going to say, I don't want to do that anymore.
And you bring in some other people in a rotating cast.
Yeah. And that's one aspect of it. There are others. In other words, that's what I could tell you from my point of view.
Yeah.
And I also think that if you make a calculation that if you can be perceived as a solo act, really, that you can get paid at a certain level that you can't if you're not a solo act, then you'd like to be a solo act, or at least perceived that way.
Well, so like Mike and the Mad Dog are a good example of a show where it was the two of them together for a long, long time. And then all of a sudden, whatever happened. Mike got his own show and he stayed on top for
Do you know who was supposed
6,
to be?
7
Do you know
years.
who he wanted to be in
Did you
Mad
get the
Dog's
call?
new position? Oh, yeah, that was the plan. I was supposed to go over and work with Mike. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Because I got the call. Who else got the call?
I don't know, but we had like come to an understanding.
So you're going to leave ESPN and do it?
I did leave ESPN.
But not to do a show with Mike.
Yeah.
You did the show with Mike?
No.
So what happened?
My interpretation of what happened, my analysis is, I think he realized at a certain point, they're not going to make me take a partner. Why should I take a partner? Because I'm beating the hell out of the guys across town by myself. I think when he thought they're going to make me take a partner, then it was like, okay, well, I'd like it to be with that guy. And then when it was like, I don't need a partner.
Yeah, that's too bad though, because I actually think long term he did need a partner, because it's always good to have people to play off of.
Look, I don't need a partner either.
No.
But I like having one because I find conversations more interesting than just talking into the wind, you know?
So over the years, you had Brian Kenny.
Yeah.
For
Jim
a while.
Lampley, Marcellus Wiley.
Marcellus for a
I had
while.
great partners. And in fact, I've become good friends with the people I work with because Bill, you know better than anybody. We're getting away with it. If you're in this business, you're getting away with it. We're talking about sports.
Right.
And like,
You'd be doing this anyway.
Come on. It's your job as a guy, like an average American guy. It's your job to follow sports. It's like literally what you have to do. You have no choice in the matter, right? You got to find out what's going on. And so how to make that experience even better? Hang out with your friends and talk about sports, right? Like, why would you not want to do that? It's interesting because Stephen A was the one partner I've ever had over like years.
Yeah.
Where I didn't feel like a relationship was really forming. And I like to go to work and you know.
You could feel a little bit watching it. And it was hard to tell how much of it was theater and how much of it was like, oh, these guys just don't get along in the same way, or
whatever you feel about who you're working with and what the situation is. To me, a cardinal sin is betraying that on the air. You should always be thinking about making the show entertaining.
Right.
And I do think it reached the point on that show where it was like, come on, dude, we get the first priority is to make good TV.
Well, it's
agreed. And it did get to a point where it felt like they didn't have the same chemistry that they at least used to have. They didn't like arguing or debating with each other. Stephen A. became more dismissive of what Max was saying, and it just honestly wasn't working out chemistry wise. So I seen why they split up there. But at the end of the day, I feel like while Max is a great contrarian and he played that role really well, it is a spot for him out there in sports commentating and sports broadcasting. And he should have his own show, or at least a show with somebody where he is diving into what's happening in the world of sports every day, like Stephen A. Smith does, like Skip Bayless does, like Shannon Sharp does. They all have their own shows. I think Max should have his own show. Find somebody that he can debate with, that he could, I guess, be Muhammad Kellerman in the ring with, and just knock him out every fucking episode. And if they willing to be a fucking sparring partner, your practice dummy, your crash dummy that you could just crash out on when you feel like they said something you didn't agree with, then hey, go find one. I guess. Either way, let me know what you think about Max Kellerman finally addressing him leaving Stephen A. Smith and First Take, and the split and his side of the story as to why he feels like it didn't work out. Honestly, him and Stephen A. Smith kind of aligned there, because when Stephen A. Smith addressed it, he kind of said the same thing. So clearly it's either that's the PR statement or this is just truly what was going on. They didn't fuck with each other anymore. And as far as that, you got to be close to a person that you're working with, at least in the field of talking and commentating and punditry and whatnot. It definitely makes for a way better show when whoever you are debating with is somebody that you personally know. Because then it's just a lot of things you could say that are allowed to be said because y'all cool. It's certain things, it's certain lines you're not gonna cross with a stranger. While you might think they're saying something completely wild, you're just not gonna call them dumb. Now, your friend, if your friend say something that you don't like, you're gonna call him stupid, and you're just gonna get into a yelling match. And at the end of the day, nobody will be hurt about it. Nobody feelings will be upset about it because y'all are close. And at the end, y'all have these arguments all the time when the cameras are off, and now the cameras are just on. It definitely makes for some amazing chemistry. I'm not gonna lie, and you can tell in a lot of the podcast landscape. Most of them don't fuck with each other outside of when they have to see each other. So, and it shows. It shows in how they talk to each other and what you hear when they are potting together. You could definitely tell that these niggas don't either like each other or don't like hanging around each other. The gig is the gig, the job is the job, and they do what they do well. Either way, let me know what you think in the comments below. As always, I am Savvy Mike, and this is I Am Savvy Mike TV. Peace.